I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is nothing more.
Christ copyright for the big homie 7 Dusted.
Should be interesting. I was gonna say this sounds like it's gonna be blasphemous, but if 7 Dusted did it, then it probably won't be. So Christ copyright by the band Nothing More. For timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up at Middle America with Vin and Sori. Speaking of politics, if you're a praying person, you should pray for our president. He is, I don't know, man. Not particularly certain that it's looking very well for the homie. Fox News says he's in good spirits, and then he's fatigued, but he's in good spirits, and then CNN says that he's fatigued, and they left out the good spirits thing. But either way, we haven't devolved to where we wish death upon anybody. I hope. Inshallah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that. And, yeah, let's just go right into it. Christ copyright from Nothing More. This should be very, very interesting. Let's go! Talk to him, brother minister.
Whoa. This was not the official.
That's not the official video?
I do not believe.
I just have the lyrics. I don't have the official lyric video, but
Wow.
I mean,
I'm pulling up the lyrics myself.
yeah. they're selling heaven tonight. You know, it's really
I
interesting.
really like the way they were singing it.
It's really interesting. There are these. I did a talk one time on like the Messianic imagery that is used in every political cycle. So, you know, Obama, when he was running, they had you remember like the big the hope thing, the colorful one with the Obama thing that said hope on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it had like almost like a little halo around him. Like they had this sort of messianic sort of
Yeah.
and yeah, go tell everybody in Afghanistan about all the hope that Obama brought them in the hope of martyrdom, inshallah. Like, it's ridiculous.
Prenatal.
But then, like, it was weird because this last election cycle was so strange in 2016 because evangelical Christians were saying, like, oh, he's God's trumpet. You know, Trump, it stands for trumpet, and there's all this, like, prophetic.
Yeah, I did hear some of that.
All this prophetic, you know, oh my God, and, you know,
Yeah.
like, and so it's like these very strange, like, implications for both of these people. Like,
Yeah.
Obama, you know, and, you know, it's a brilliant strategy, especially in the Western world, especially, I mean, we're not in a completely post-Christian environment, you know, in America. I mean, we're getting there, but, you know, we're not completely there yet. So it doesn't matter, and it's interesting because both sides use that imagery, Christian imagery, and all that to put forth their guy. And then you had, you know, all those little kids singing that Obama song about how awesome Obama was and all that. People were going crazy.
That.
Oh yeah. It was like this big thing. So it's like, they're selling heaven tonight, which is the whole Christ copyright thing. Is that you're looking at a political messiah. They're selling you a bill of goods. Which I thought was a very, very insightful understanding of how the political apparatus works, because, you know, one is, in order for you to have a Christ sold to you, there has to be a hell that he's saving you from. Right? So it's like, it's every, you know, I gave a talk about this one time, like every election cycle, it's like, oh my God, the Republicans put us in hell, but here we're going to have this Messiah who's going to come and he's going to...
Yeah.
And then that's what happened.
Back and forth,
With Obama, it was like, oh, the Republicans put us in hell with all this war and all this, and Guantanamo Bay and yada yada yada. So he, you know, oh yeah, and then Jay-Z's, you know, no more war, no more Iraq. My president is black. In fact, he's half white. So even to a racist mind, he's half white. If you got a racist mind, you'd be all right. Your president is black, but the house is still white. So, and you had black people looking at Obama like he was gonna be some political messiah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like. And obviously, you know, Guantanamo's still open. He set records for drone.
I was going to say, he wrecked stuff before he
drone bombed the hell out of those Afghanis.
Yeah.
He, you know, deporter-in-chief. Shout out to Ben Webb. Ben Webb hates the term deporter-in-chief, but Republicans didn't give him that nickname. It was Californians gave him that nickname, Ben Webb. So, yeah, what happened to the political messiah? And then, you know, it was, oh my God, we had 8 years of Obama. This is horrible. And then the evangelicals, Trump is God's man. It's like, what? Like, no disrespect to the, but it's like, this is a dude who brags about cavorting with women while he's married and all the rest of it. This is a guy who said that he doesn't ask God forgiveness because he doesn't need it. Like, like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, can't you just say, like, okay, this is the best of the worst that we have, but evangelicals, like, completely swung the other way with this dude. It's like, and of course, in our little subculture, people are talking about abortion. You can't vote for Bernie because he supports abortion. You have to vote for a Republican. It's like, all that shit got passed, all the late-term abortion shit that those psychopaths were putting out there in New York. And I'm talking about the folks who endorsed the RHA are obviously psychopathic. That happened under Trump's watch, and all he did was argue with Nancy Pelosi about the wall during that time period. I remember very, very definitively that whole time period. So it's amazing how these politicians, I mean, they've tapped into human nature, man, and they figured it out. They figured out how to. And Bernie, you know, when you look at Bernie was also another political messiah.
Oh yeah.
Especially, I remember it got a little bit strange. I got to tell you, with was it Kyle Kalinske? During the primaries, during the Democratic primaries, Kalinske kept running these clips of Bernie commercials, and he'd cry, you know, and he'd be like, "Oh, Bernie," and there's nothing wrong with crying, but it was just like he was very moved by these Bernie Sanders commercials, you know, because you know there was one where the guy was like, "I'm gonna kill myself" or whatever, and Bernie's like, "Nah, you're not gonna kill yourself. Like we gotta figure it," because you know.
Oh yes, the healthcare thing. Yeah, I remember
so
that clip.
Like I understand that the human interest side of it is very moving, but like all of this hope and whatever was put on Bernie Sanders, which you know it's only right that a Jew would be the Messiah, but you know like. It was just very, very weird to me. Like, bro, like he's a politician.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, he's still a politician.
I'm surprised that people keep falling for that.
But you know, when you don't have, obviously, from our worldview, if you don't have the real Christ, you're still you were born to look for a Christ.
That's true.
Right. So like, the world is. We are feeling the effects of sin, whether you look at it from the perspective of like, you know, Medicare for all or whatever, like all of these things are necessary because of the effects of sin in the world, whether it's, you know, on the natural level or on the human level, you know, like we're greedy as hell. So now we've got an economic system where it's like, if you don't have money, you're screwed. You know, Trump right now, he's getting airlifted to Walter Reed. Some of that has to do with the fact that he's a president. But the fact of the matter is, he's a billionaire. So he's going to get A1 care. Whereas, you know, we've got people who are basically told him, go home and die. Like, so, you know, all of these things are whether it's, you know, a domestic policy or foreign policy, war, whatever, those are all the effects of sin.
Yep.
And then these presidents are presented as sort of messianic figures to deliver us from hell. And then, you know, you have... You know, people who are gigantic Trump fans and they're like, oh, he forfeited his salary. It's like, okay, but he's a billionaire. Like I get it, but at the same time, it's like $10 to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, look how much he's sacrificed. Like, this guy's sacrificing for us. And again, this sort of messianic terminology because he has sacrificed himself monetarily, not because of the sacrificing the salary thing, but because as a business mogul, he could be closing multi-million-dollar deals. You know, there's all this mythology that Trump isn't really rich. No, he's. I'll say it this way: all you people that are saying Trump's not really rich, I bet you anything you'd like to be poor like him. Just silly self.
Yeah. If he's not rich, I don't see him forfeiting it.
And they're like, you know, look how sacrificial he is. He could be out there making tens of millions of dollars, but he's like, and he is sacrifice. But again, it's like this messianic sort of thing where, And now you've got guys like John MacArthur, who has said, if you vote for Biden, you're not a Christian. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Where is that in the Bible?
That is essentially elevating Trump to Messiah status.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Because the only time I would ever make a statement like that is if I were to say, if Jesus was literally on the ballot running for president. Like if Jesus came down from the seven heavens and said, hey, I'm running for office, then I would say, well, unless you vote for Jesus, you're not a Christian. But other than that, you can't say that shit. But there's John MacArthur. If you don't vote for Trump, you're not a Christian.
That's wild.
These people are like...
John MacArthur?
Yeah, bro. Well, of course, John MacArthur is the same dude that says there is no pandemic. He sat up there in California in front of all those people and said there's no pandemic. So, I don't know. I guess there's no pandemic. I don't know what the hell Mr. Trump is doing on getting life flighted over or airlifted to Walter Reed since there's no pandemic.
What is Walter Reed's? I mean, I'm
It's a
assuming it's
hospital.
a hospital, but
It's a hospital.
is it like a different hospital than regular people go to, or?
No, I think everybody goes. I mean, I just think it's, in proximity to where the president is, and I'm sure they've got security protocols and all that jazz. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, he's not
That's
obviously.
so weird. There's like a whole bunch of people in that hospital that are going to be like, I was at the hospital the same time as our president.
They probably don't even know. So there's
How could they not know? You know.
Look at the Rolling Stones thing. He's all shiny. A New Hope. Barack Obama. A New Hope. You know, it's unbelievable. So our minds are conditions. We swear by these traditions, lose our hearts, and breed division. Why can't we wake up? Mm-hmm. I think it's amazing to me that Christians fall for this stuff.
Oh, I know. It's like
It's unbelievable.
You've been called to something higher. How can you be disillusioned by these people?
But it's just even beyond the calling. It's like, how can you believe the doctrine of original sin and believe that a president is going to solve all the nation's problems? It makes sense to me.
I mean,
no, it makes sense.
No offense, but it's worse that they said it was Trump. You know what I mean? So all that stuff came out about him, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? If you just looked at a snapshot of Bernie, then you could see where they're coming from. You know what I mean? He's such a nice guy, and
he's not nice to babies. Bernie's not nice to babies.
Yes, I know, but that's why I said
he made
snapshot.
that Thanos-like comment about population control and abortion and all that shit. So,
yeah. That's why I said snapshot.
None of these people are nice people. They're all horrific in their own special way. And I feel like it doesn't matter what snapshot of Trump you look at. Trump has done a lot of good. His car was broken down on the side of the street. Some guy got out and helped him, and Trump paid off the rest of the guy's mortgage. And that's the thing. Is when you make somebody the Messiah, you have to make somebody else a devil, right? So now, Bernie's a Messiah, so Trump is a devil. Hillary's a devil. Everybody's a devil. They've never done anything good in their lives ever. Mm-hmm. And Trump is a Messiah, so that means Obama's a devil, Hillary's a devil. Mm-hmm. Well, he's kind of a devil. But, you get on TV and you laugh about having somebody raped and murdered, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. She's talking about Gaddafi. That's the other side of it, is that they demonize people who are... So if you're not... And it's funny, because Jesus said, if you're not with me, you're against me. Mm-hmm. Well, Jesus has a right to say that, because he's the Son of God. He's the Prince of the Divine Council. Now the Director of the Divine Council. So he can say that shit. Mm-hmm. But nobody else can. So when Bush gets on TV after 9/11 and says, if you're not with us, you're against us. No. You're not the head of the Divine Council. You're the President of the United States, and your country has taken part in horrible situations that instigated the 9/11 terrorist attack. So we have no moral grounding to say some craziness like that on the world stage. But that's how people are now. If you say anything, it happens all the time in Middle America. If you say anything positive about Trump, people automatically have a meltdown and swing the other way. You say something positive about Biden, these people have a meltdown and swing the other way. And you automatically become the devil because you're challenging their Messiah.
Yeah.
So, what people don't realize is that, Messiahs are supposed to die. So, they don't go into a country and change the world by, doing something for 4 years, and then all of a sudden now they're going to save the world. Come on. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Somebody just messaged something to me and I can't... Where did it go?
If you scroll down, doesn't that bring it?
Oh, okay. I'm not worried about that. So I don't know, man. They're selling us a line, and they're all fallible human beings. But people keep, and it's amazing because the people who are selling us heaven are also the people that created this hellscape for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think though that sometimes people are, when people get this idea that, okay, if I move to another city, things will be different. or if I get a new job, then that annoying person won't be there. But there's going to be another annoying person, and when you move to another city, every city has its problems. There's nothing, you can't escape those things. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I think that part of it is just we want to see a better, more hopeful future, and so it's like kind of like you hold on to the hope. Oh, okay, well, here's something new. We've got a new president, so now maybe something will change. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just in people's hearts. They want to see some change. They want to see something that they can actually hope in and believe in. And it's kind of discouraging to be like, wow, they're all failures and they're all going to try to trick us. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, you know, and that's why you see Jimmy Dore the way that he talks about, you know, Bernie now. You know, 2 years ago, Bernie again was like this Messianic figure, and now when Jimmy Dore talks about him, he's like, he talked to, you know, like that one time where he said, you know, my dad beat the hell out of me and knocked me unconscious, and I woke up in my own urine, and Bernie's more of a disappointment to me than my own father was. Like that's a pretty powerful statement. But that just tells you how invested Jimmy Dore was into Bernie and how hurt he is that Bernie did not fight as well as he should have fought. And, you know, I get it. I understand where he's coming from, but I just never put that degree of trust in any politician. You know, because, and it's funny because a lot of evangelicals will agree with me. They'll be like, yeah, but their understanding of the world is like the world is going to get, you know, eventually worse, but then they're going to get zapped out of here, and then all the sinners are going to have to deal with the horrible world that they created. But our perspective is that no, that we're going to figure it out as a human family, and that things are going to get progressively better and better, which means that everybody has a role, believer or otherwise. Everybody has a role in getting the planet to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So that's the reason, on the one hand, I don't, you know, latch on to any one person, because like, you know, it's all of our jobs to do something. And people talk about like, oh, if I was Jeff Bezos, I would spend my billions here and help the people. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, because you are Jeff Bezos to some kid in Africa. Go do something for him. Stop. We're always looking for one person to solve the problem. Oh, why doesn't Jeff Bezos solve the problem? Do it tomorrow. We could feed everybody tomorrow if Jeff Bezos would give half of his income or whatever. It's like, motherfucker, we could save the world from world hunger if all of us said, okay, everybody gets $20 out of my check.
Yeah.
Just $20, like, and you can afford it. You know, so like, we're always looking for one person because we don't want to do the hard work of actually saving the world, because saving the world's hard work.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why in comic books you have superheroes with superpowers, because those powers help you to sort of accelerate the work that you would need and the intellectual ingenuity that you would need to actually overcome evil, which is why Batman is such a fascinating character.
Yeah.
Right? But, you know, so it's a very, very complex issue, but a lot of it is like, you know, really comes down to just human laziness. Like, we're all in the middle of some ocean somewhere, and we want some, you know, some barge to come out and get us, you know, instead of like coming together and say, okay, there's pieces of this wreckage, let's see if we can build a boat, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Like, you want a barge to come get you, great. So then you know, here comes this giant barge, and then they pick you up on the thing, and you're like, oh, this is great, and you're going along, and you say, by the way, what's the name of this ship? And they say, oh, it's the Titanic. Like, that's politics.
Wait a minute.
That's politics in America. And I actually think that was actually one of the better metaphors I've ever come up with in quite some time. So I actually want to land the plane on that, because that was a moment of genius.
It was a creepy moment.
Yeah. Fear.
You're the cage. It was one of those moments.
Yeah, you are the cage.
Well,
so what do you think?
Why? Okay, so I was looking at they put it under, well, this is genius. Metal, alternative rock, hard rock. What, don't you think it had a punk sound to it, somewhat?
Well, I think it had the punk spirit, which was, you know, going against the man and all that. But it sounded like metal to me.
I liked
And it
it.
had a little bit of dubstep.
I liked
you know,
it.
type of thing.
Yeah, it's a good 9.85 for me.
It's a solid 9. Solid 9 for the big homie. Definitely something to think about. And should be an interesting thumbnail, that's for sure. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.